Hello everyone, this is Bentley, and today we're doing a very short video. I just want to make an announcement for the channel, and that is that channel memberships through YouTube are now live. So previously, I didn't really talk about it very much, but I had a Patreon. I've kind of, somehow somehow this channel got flagged for memberships, and I think part of that is because I used to do a lot of gaming content, and before I started doing fish stuff, and gaming channels have way different thresholds. But what I want to talk about really fast is why membership matters and what membership gives you versus not. So the first thing I want to make extremely clear, none of the series, guides, product reviews, fish room tours, interviews, any of the directly fish related content will ever be member content. So that stuff will always be free and available to anyone, whether you're subscribed, unsubscribed, a member, Patreon, anything. That's always going to be out there. What membership content is going to give you is a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff. So I'll give you a couple examples. There's a video coming up very shortly. It's going to be the last non-member kind of who I am kind of video, if that makes sense. I kind of want those to be more member oriented and not necessarily a main channel. I really want to focus the channel on fish. As much as like I love talking about myself or just talking in general, I'd like that kind of content to be more on the member side or Patreon for those who are on Patreon. Basically, if you're on Patreon, thank you so much. If you're not, because you don't want to go to an outside website, you have the option to do YouTube channel memberships. It supports the channel. It puts a little extra money in there so we can do a lot of these projects or be able to do more product reviews, things like that, just because that stuff costs money and I'm a small channel. I don't make a lot on YouTube. So funding those things comes out of my pocket for the most part. Where the differences are, basically just that the same content you will get as a YouTube member, you will get if you're on Patreon. So for those who are on Patreon, you don't need to worry about anything. There may occasionally be like a small photo or teaser thing on Patreon, specifically just because I like giving a few extra kudos to those folks, but it'll be tiny. So let me give you some examples of member content so you have an idea. Let's say it's the day I go and I'm meeting with, I'm going to go to Randy Reed's house, and I'm going to do his fish room tour, and we're going to sit and we're going to talk, and we're just going to BS about fish. The day that I'm doing all that filming, you're going to see a members-only post that's probably a short video, some pictures, one of the two, that will just let you know, hey, I'm out at Randy's place, we're doing something, Randy might pop in, say hi, whatever that might be. Expected full video coming soon or in a couple weeks, whatever my time frame ends up being. That way the members know kind of what's going on. And it might be one of those things where like, hey, the day before I'll put out a members only post if I'm going to say, let's say I'm going to Randy's house. What do you want to know? Like I'll put up a poll that'll say like, what things do you want me to cover? And then that's your opportunity basically as the members to get some small bonus content that would be outside of what maybe I would normally do, that will be for members that you guys get to control. So maybe it'll be like, hey, Randy and I are going to do a fish room tour, and then afterward, we're doing an episode of Aquarius Podcast. What behind-the-scenes thing for the Aquarius Podcast would you like to see? And then here's a couple options. And then, that whatever get the most votes for that day when I go out filming, that's the thing that's going to get done, and that'll be a members-only post. So that's a great example. A second example, a lot of you guys know I've been working on a video game recently called Bots and the Robo Friends by Game Grotto Softworks. I've put some stuff up on my Instagram. I've talked about it in community tab posts. I'm doing a lot of sound-oriented stuff. So I'm doing some voice acting. I'm also working on taking human voices and making them sound robotic because the game features robots, right? So we want things to sound robotic, and the villains have to sound a certain way, and the heroes sound a certain way, and all the little enemies and all the other characters, and there's all sorts of stuff that all has to sound certain kind of differences, and each has to be unique. Well, I'm working on a behind the scenes, which by now it's actually probably up for members. There'll be a behind the scenes of crafting Hacker, who's one of the major villains in the game, and how I took the voice recording with the base voice line, which I voiced, so it's a little weird listening to my own voice and playing with it, but it's fun. and how I turned it into what the final product is. Because I've literally sat and kind of did this live. We had a basic idea, me and the team at Game Grotto, of what we wanted to do, and so that will be up for members. Probably actually already is the time of getting this released. The time of filming, it's being edited, so that will give you an idea of some extra member content. It's all behind the scenes stuff, none of the fish related things. So I just kind of wanted to announce that the memberships are live. There's several different tiers. One of the other major tiers, the smallest tier gets you all the behind the scenes access. Every other tier will get you access to the members only Discord. So for those of you who like non-Facebook chat programs like Discord, maybe you're a gamer or you've done it through some of the other channels that are out there that have their own Discords. Basically, it's just a small Discord that will allow you to talk with other members. And more importantly, if you have some really burning questions, you have an opportunity to get direct questions answered from me a lot faster than some other places. Now, that being said, please, I'm a pretty busy guy. Don't spam me like crazy. I beg you. But, if you have a pretty interesting question, say about lighting or plants or fish, whatever it may be, you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions directly through the Discord. So that's something that's kind of a fun perk. Discord is something I can access via my phone, so I can do things kind of at work when I'm on my breaks or between things, whatever that may be. It's a little faster than, say, email and things like that, but it's an opportunity for the members to get together in a small community, chat, hang out, talk. We might even talk some video ideas specifically in the members only Discord. There will be a channel just to discuss some of those things. We might make some straw polls and things like that. So it's another place where people will get an opportunity to kind of control a little bit of some of the stuff they get to see on this channel. So I hope that answers some of your questions about membership. There's 2 tiers. They're meant as jokes. Don't do them. Just don't. I really put them in there as jokes. I put them in as jokes on my Patreon too, and thankfully everybody's understood. I don't expect anyone to ever look at that other than the fact that I specifically put this is a joke. Don't do this. So there's that. But lots of the tiers give you all sorts of cool stuff. There is a tier once you get to I think it's the 3rd tier basically that you'll get a little shout out in every video. So there'll be a kind of an end card at every video. And when we have some new members or something like that, I'll actually verbally just give you a little thanks because you're kicking in a lot more than any YouTube ad revenue would ever do at that point. So thank you so much to everybody just for your support on the channel so far, especially to those of you who comment all the time, who which if you could, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and comment on this video. Just let me know down below. If you're not interested in membership and membership doesn't have a lot of interest in general, I'll just turn it off. I'm not that stressed about it. It's just one of those things where I kind of thought hey, if I'm going to give people an option to get some behind the scenes stuff, let me make it as a perk for something like this, because long-term channel memberships are what help smaller channels and even some of the bigger channels make it through your adpocalypse and all your crazy nonsense. It's just one of those things that makes it a lot easier for creators in general on YouTube to know this is what I can do every month because I have these wonderful people who are helping make sure that is possible. That's really what memberships matter, and Patreon matters for small creators especially, but even for some of the big creators. So with all that being said, shoot me down a comment down below. You could scream at me because you hate the idea of memberships. You can't stand that content of any form is not always available and free. I get it. I get it, but I only have so much time in the day, so it's literally me taking extra time. And then if it's interesting to you, or if you think just the names of my tiers are funny, put a comment, please, by all means. Like it if you like it. If you don't like it, you can hit the thumbs down twice. I totally understand. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.